Hey guys, have you ever been working on a track and you're in the heat of the moment and then all of a sudden your computer just craps out on you? I've had this happen to me many times, and my solution has always been to buy a bigger, better, more badass computer. But right now I'm running a pretty beast of a machine. It's a Mac Pro Tower, 2 Intel quad-core Xeons, 8 gigs of RAM, and I still run into problems with headroom in the computer. So today I would like to take a second and introduce you to a sick, life-saving little piece of kit made by Universal Audio called the Satellite. And what this thing is a DSP accelerator card. Effectively, this is a whole separate computer that plugs into your computer. It's got its own onboard processors and RAM, and it runs plugins. Now, this is important because your computer's CPU usually runs plugins when they're in your digital audio workstation, but that takes resources from your computer that could be used for other things. And how big of a pain in the ass is it when you're working on a tune and all of a sudden things come to a grinding halt or they get chunky or whatever? I hate waiting for computers. So I always like to have lots of headroom when I'm working on my projects. So enter the UAD solution. Basically, each one of these cards has processors and RAM. It plugs into your computer and it takes the heat off of your computer's CPU, allowing you to focus more on making music and less time on freezing tracks and bouncing down audio, which personally I find to be a real pain in the butt. So let's explore a little bit more about this specific offering from UAD. Now, Universal Audio is a company that has traditionally made hardware. They've made a lot of compressors and limiters and channel strips and preamps and things like that, and they're brilliant at what they do. But they realized that moving into the next age of digital music and digital processing, that people aren't going to be able to afford to buy or haul around with them and patch in all these pieces of outboard gear that they used to in studios. So the Universal Audio UAD cards are basically the equivalent of having all of these analog devices in a digital environment. In fact, their tagline for their company is analog ears, digital minds. And what they've done that's so brilliant is they've taken all of these vintage pieces of hardware and they've physically modeled them. They've taken gold units, like basically the best ones they could find, and they've hooked them up to circuitry and tested them and run algorithms and basically designed digital versions of them. And they've A/B tested these with some of the best mix and mastering engineers in the world, and you can't tell the difference. So for the price of one of these cards, for example, they make two versions of the Satellite. One is a dual processor version that's about $900, and this one, which is a quad 4 processor version, which is about $1,500. And it can run tons and tons of these plugins. So a lot of the UA plugins are focused towards mixdown and mastering applications. And for me, I've been using them ever since the UAD-1, probably for about 5 years now, and they have routinely made the biggest difference in my mixdowns. These plugins, like every DAW comes with its own plugin set, right? If you're using Logic, Pro Tools, Reason, Ableton, they all come with compressors and EQs and limiters and things like that. But to be perfectly honest, none of them that I've ever heard can hold a candle to the quality of these Universal Audio plugins. And as a result, I've used these almost exclusively in my mixdown and mastering processes for my music for the last 5 years. And in addition, the Satellite card is particularly of interest to me because for a long time I've been using this one. This is the Universal Audio UAD-2 card, and this is a PCIe version that sits inside my Mac Pro Tower. However, I'm writing more and more music on my laptop on the road now. And so when I'm traveling, I need a portable solution and I need something that can work with my laptop. Well, this, the Satellite card is a firewire 400 and 800 compatible card that works with Apple Macintosh computers. So this has been a way for me to bring my UAD plugin power on the road with me while I'm writing music, either at remote locations or I'm touring and gigging and things like that. And these plugins, like I said, are breathtaking. Now I'm going to be doing some tutorials coming up over the next couple of months about some of my favorite picks of these plugins. But for now, let's just unbox this little puppy and see what she can do. All right, so here we are inside the box of the UAD-2 satellite. And let's first take a look at the hardware unit. So here's the front end of it. You can see basically this is a separate unit that sits outside your computer. It's pretty small, compact, light, but metal, definitely good build quality. And there's the front of the card. And then around back, you'll see we have a firewire 400 and then 2 firewire 800 slots to be able to connect to your computer. This card does not bus power. It does require a separate power source. So it comes with a power source right here, and then a little power on switch right on the back as well. One thing I will point out about the power adapter is Universal Audio has been very, very forward thinking in understanding that people are going to be traveling with these units. And they've actually provided a whole series of extra travel power adapters for different countries that you may travel to. So this comes with the standard North American one installed, but you can actually just press the little button, snap that off, and interchange these depending on what country and power system you are going to be using. So again, intended and designed with travel in mind, and they've had the foresight to be able to provide these to you in advance, which is great. So altogether, this card, I only represent and talk about products on this channel that I use and I believe in. And so this was one, it's kind of been my secret weapon for the last little while. I wanted to make sure you guys knew about it. A lot of the big acts out there are using this. Thievery Corporation uses it. Glitch Mob uses it. Tons of artists out there I know. If you check out the Universal Audio website, you'll be able to see the different amounts of people that are using this card. And they actually have a great blog with tips and videos and things like that around how to use it and different techniques and all their plugins. So highly recommended little piece of kit. Definitely check it out. I put a direct link in the description field to this video. Directly back to the product page for this on Universal Audio's website. So click that, check it out, and you'll definitely see some more tutorials upcoming from me on how to use the actual plugins and walking you through some of my favorite picks. So talk to you soon, and take care.